Well, let's talk to the man who makes that new banknote. Martin Sutherland is Chief Executive of De La Rue. So, Martin, how expensive and time-consuming has it been to devise all these new security features?
Well, frankly, it's at the heart of what De La Rue does. We're one of the biggest, we are the biggest commercial producer of banknotes in the world. We're working with over 140 countries, helping design notes. And so it's kind of core to what we do is, how do we come up with symbols of national pride, capturing iconic people like Jane Austen. The cost really is a secondary issue, isn't it, I think?
Well, there's a lot of grousing on Twitter this afternoon. There you go, that quotation on the note. I declare, after all, there is no enjoyment like reading. That's a quote not from Jane Austen, but from one of her characters. Was that your fault or the bank's?
Well, we work really closely with our customers. We work really closely with the Bank of England to make sure that, as I say, we can capture the spirit of the nation in the cash. So if you look at the new £10 note, I think it's a fantastic design. It's got all sorts of different security features in it. If you compare the new tenner with the old tenner, it's a sort of generational shift in terms of the look and the feel. It's on this new polymer. It makes it much more difficult to counterfeit. So I think all those things are, fantastic positives. The fact that the public engage so passionately with what's the quote on the note, or is the image the right image, is it the right, portrait, I think it says something about how important cash is to the general public.
But the bank signed off on the quotes. That's not your doing.
Well, we work closely with the customers. So it's the bank that chose the portrait of Jane Austen, and then it's our design team, very skilled artists, who turn that into an engraving that goes on the note. And we work with the bank, and they chose the quote. Yeah.
And we had a lot of grousing when the new fiver was launched, which was one of yours as well, about the use of tallow in the notes. Why is that essential?
So actually the polymer that the £5 and the £10 note is printed on is not De La Rue polymer. It's provided by another company.
Right. Okay.
We do make polymer in banknotes, and we since the sort of public reaction to the tallow in the £5 note, we've put our research team to work, and we've actually now brought out a sort of alternative variant which doesn't have the tallow in the note. So as far as we're concerned at De La Rue, we can do a tallow-free or a tallow version of the note, and we're actually competing to supply the polymer for the £20 note at the moment with the Bank of England. So hopefully we'll be successful in that tender.
How interesting. Now, another thing you're competing on, you're currently the passport supplier. You're re-tendering for the business. Is that harder this time around because of the imminence of the UK leaving the EU? We're going to have a whole new design?
Well, whether or not there's a new design of the passport, again, that will be down to the UK Passport Service. What I would note is that we've been working closely with the Passport Service for the last 10 years. So De La Rue produces the British passport today. Again, I think it's a fantastic symbol of sort of national pride. If you open up the passport, it's got, pictures of the Globe Theatre and, the Tube map and so on. So it really sort of, captures the spirit of the nation. The contract ends in 2019. That's the year that we will be leaving Europe if the Brexit negotiations go to plan. So I think actually it would be very disappointing if it wasn't a British company that was producing the new British passport. So hopefully we'll continue to enjoy that relationship.
All right. In a word, do you think they'll be blue?
I think it'd be quite exciting if they were, wouldn't it? Yeah.
Great stuff. Martin Sutherland from De La Rue. Good to see you. Thanks for joining me.
Thank you.